going on, dudes? My name is TDC and welcome back to my Minecraft world. Hopefully you guys are having a good day today. So today's episode is going to be a little bit different, okay? Shh. Okay, calm down, it's okay, I know. Today we're going to be doing a world tour, man. So it's been a little while since the last world tour, and for those of you who do not know and keep asking about the world download, there is a link in the description down below. So make sure to go check that out. It's a few episodes behind what this episode is, so I just released that one. I'm not going to upload another one just yet. We'll probably wait till the episode 200 mark, maybe, unless we do something really cool that you guys want to check out. But for those of you who are interested, the link is down below, so you can go download it, have some fun, and you can come explore everything that we're about to show off today. So, without further ado, let's begin, because this is going to take a while. This is probably going to be a little bit of a longer episode, but I don't know, hopefully we can go through and kind of explain everything and just show everything that we've built so far. And hopefully you guys can see the progression of my building as we start off from where we began to where we are now. It should be pretty interesting, to be honest, for me to go back and look at everything that we've done. But yeah, so this is the old world spawn. I'm not sure if this is like still the current place that you spawn in at, like if you die without a bed. I've had a bed for a long time, so I haven't actually died and come back to natural spawn in a long time. But originally it was right over there on the other side of these trees here was the original world spawn, but then I guess over time as it updated and things like that, it just kind of moved to this area here. So it may be somewhere completely different now, I'm not sure. But yeah, so this was the original spot, and I made a path kind of showing you where to go. So for anybody that spawns in, if this is where he spawned in, it says follow the path, man. Follow the path. And this will take us right over here to the old village and things like that. But I gotta say, welcome back. I know it's been a little while. I have to apologize. Work has been pretty crazy here. In Texas, we've been having some crazy weather. It's kind of finally died out over those last week and stuff. I think we're supposed to get a little bit more rain and storms and stuff this coming week. But I don't know, we'll just kind of find out. With my work schedule, anytime it storms or rains or anything like that, it puts us way behind, so it just makes it really, really busy at work. And that's what's been going on over the last couple of weeks, so there hasn't been too many videos on my channel. And I don't know, it kind of stinks, but you gotta do what you gotta do. But hopefully, I got a little bit of time today. I'm going to try to record some stuff. Today's episode, depending on how long this runs, will determine if I'm able to get anything else really recorded. So we'll just kind of have to go from there and we'll see. But yeah, so anyways, that out of the way, let's get back onto the world tour. So the path kind of cuts off right there, and then you can, I made sure that you can clearly see the path from over there. So this, you know, this is where you're supposed to go. Yeah, as you can see, it's really old school stuff here, just a gravel path and not much else to show. I do want to point out that all the trees around here are trees that I've planted. There was no trees. If you've ever played Minecraft in an extreme hills biome, you know that there's not really this many trees. So everything has been planted, and I don't know. I like trees, okay? I like trees in Minecraft. They're awesome. We've got a little fountain here, nothing really ever done with that, and we're going to jump on Palm Mules. I brought him over here today so we can hopefully speed things up just a little bit, and we can kind of come around and move a little bit quicker. But yeah, so in here is kind of my first branch mine. We're not going to go down there, but this is just basically a branch mine. It goes all the way down to bedrock, and there's a bunch of branches all done there. Basic storage, a few other little things here, and let's come around here. Now, most of this stuff that you're going to see, all the fancy stuff, this is things that I've added since we started the world. A lot of it wasn't really here, and we just kind of started building things up as we went. But first things first is our house over here. This was our starter house. Now, when we started in here, it was much smaller. We've expanded since then, and for some reason my windows are gone. I'm not real sure what that's all about. And let's tie you up real quick. Come here. We're going to put you right there. You should be good, right? It's about nighttime, so we'll go in and sleep. But yeah, so we're just going to start off in this area. Like I said, this is my first starter house. We have expanded it since we began. There's a bunch of animals living in here. What is going on? I haven't been over here in so long. Why are there a bunch of animals in my house? That's some old cake, man. That's got to be some moldy cake. Ugh. Look at it. It's all moldy. It's gross. But yeah, so this is my first storage room. There's probably still a lot of good stuff in here, but I'm never over here. So everything that I have, I pretty much have recollected. Look at all those saddles, man. Look at all this armor. Should we give Paul Mule some diamond armor? Maybe. No, let's give him some iron armor. We got a couple of those. A bunch of minecarts, a bunch of tracks I could have used. Oh man, I didn't know I had all that stuff. Bunch of coal, a bunch of redstone, bunch of lapis. Oh, I didn't know I had all that iron. And diamonds. Nice. Oh, there we go. Get in here. Not a whole lot of stuff over here. Just a bunch of like building materials and different kinds of blocks. A bunch of snow, some bricks, some obsidian, some bricks. Yeah. So, basically, this is kind of like a reserve. If I ever need to come back and get something that I know I don't have. I got quite a bit of food in here, which is kind of nice. A bunch of old tools. Are any of these any good? Unbreaking. Oh, that one's not bad. That one's not bad. That one's like full health too. That's pretty good. So you'll kind of recognize as we go along. There's gonna be a lot of stuff in here that I forgot that I had, and very misorganized, man. I am. Oh, there's no bed here. What is going on? Do we have a bed? We got a bed down here, I think. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. But yeah, so things are going to be scattered about. There's going to be a bunch of just randomly placed things, and I don't know, it's pretty cool. So anyways, we're going to head down here. Not a whole lot down here. This was my attempt at an automated cooker, and I say it's an automated cooker. It's basically just automated furnaces. We got mine carts coming up the top, dropping things off into the furnaces. They all dump out into this chest here, and then I think there's another row of hoppers around the backside that feed it coal, which we put in this chest and then turn it on. It should, like, I don't even know if it still works anymore, but yeah. So there was once upon a time where we used to mess around with redstone, and that one is, I guess that's not really redstone, but this one was a contraption that I came up with, and I think it probably doesn't work anymore. It looks like there's some tracks that have been removed. But basically what this was an automated unload system, and I to be honest, I'm not real sure how it worked. It worked for a little while, but basically this was my automated tree farm. So underneath here you'll see that we got a bunch of tracks going back and forth, and I don't think this would even work anymore because there's not enough powered rails. What is this? We had activator rails and the powered rails. So I guess the cart would roll over this and power the rail and push it along. I'm not real sure what I was thinking, but yeah, so once upon a time this was a thing. Not anymore, but you'd come and you'd chop down the trees and all the items and stuff would fall on these slabs, and the hopper mine carts would go back and forth underneath it, and then they would come here and they'd drop it off in this chest, and we could turn the whole system on or off like that. I don't even know what that does. I think that's how we turned it off. Turn it off like that, it unpowers this rail. The minecart would come and sit right here. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a thing. I don't think we'll ever come back to it, but it's a thing. So here's my nether portal into, well, the nether. I've got a bunch of them, not real sure why, but we just got a big tunnel here. And back here is kind of like the forge, which was just a design that I wanted to do something with nether brick, I think, and nether brick and lava, and kind of make it look all steamy and stuff in here, because, you know, like, forges seemed kind of steamy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't think I've ever used this area, to be honest, but it looks pretty cool nonetheless. But yeah, so moving on, man. I'm gonna ramble a lot this episode, I can tell already. This was something I was planning on doing. This is the top of the cooker, the auto smelter thing majig. Let's see, let's go up here first. Let's go up here. So this is when I first discovered vines. I loved vines. I decided to put vines on everything. Everything needed vines, and lots of vines at that. And I also found out that string kept vines from growing, which is pretty interesting. If you're new to the game, if you don't know, strings will keep any plant from growing a certain distance. So you can also put it on top of sugarcane. It'll keep it from growing too tall. And yeah, that's all there is to know about vines. But here's my old enchanting room. Now, this is back when we actually had to have a ton of bookshelves to get level 50. Since then, it's been reduced to level 30, and I think you only need 16 bookshelves now, which is about, I think, quarter of how many bookshelves we have here. So, oh, unbreaking 3, that's pretty good. Efficiency 3, sharpness, power 1. Yeah, so not a lot happening here. It's pretty old school stuff. All the upward facing logs. This is before we could actually place logs back and forth, in like the different directions and stuff. So yeah, this shows you how old this world is. If we head back down here, wheat farm. My very first wheat farm was right up here, and we attempted to come back and do something with redstone so we could have like it would release the water, it would come and wash away all the wheat, and then it would fall into a chest or something like that, a hopper. But as you can see, it's broken. It doesn't work. I got a ton of sugarcane in here. That's cool. Yeah, but not a lot going on. What else? We got a melon farm up here. Old school melon farm. Which I don't really grow melons anymore. Not really a use for them, to be honest, except for like potions and stuff. But it's there if we ever need to. We got a random cow. There's a bunch of random animals around here. Can we put this on you? Let's put that on you. Oh yeah, look at you. You look much better now. What else? We have our tree house, which is a pretty cool tree house. Back in the day, this was like one of the very first things I did. This was a user request from a long time ago. Basically, we just climb up here. See, again with the vines everywhere. There used to be a bed and stuff in here. I used to sleep in here pretty regularly because I was always out doing things, but since then, it's changed a little bit. Man, this is like, it's one of those things, there's just so much here that I don't know where to begin or how to start things off, but I guess we'll just kind of have to take it step by step. There's a zombie somewhere apparently. An underground party or something. This is my melon farm, or pumpkin farm, I guess, which is a little bit more automated than the one that I have now, which is pretty cool. So we'll just go ahead and stick those in here. But yeah, basically you run in, and the pistons come up. Any pumpkins grown will pop off like they just did. We'll pick them up, and then we'll come run back and drop them off in the chest. And the idea was once you enter, they're ready to harvest, and then when you exit, it goes back down, and then they can regrow. Pretty cool. It actually worked really well, and I've had it for a long time, and that's how I got a lot of the pumpkins for lighting and different things like that. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite builds in this world, and I don't know why, because it's very simple, especially now that I've gotten a little bit better at building. But this was my first attempt at kind of making a brick house. I think this is the very first thing we ever did in the world that used bricks. I don't use them very often, but I wanted to do something with a house using bricks, and I don't know, I think it came out pretty cool. So it was my first attempt at like decorating and things like that. So adding like the little sconces here and the bookshelves just kind of add a little bit more detail. But as you can tell, it's definitely not up to par with today's standards in my world. But it still holds a close place in my heart. I really like it, so it's pretty cool. Now heading this way, we're going to come over here first. This is one of the newer builds, somewhat newer. This is when I kind of really started figuring out my build style and what I like to do with things and like the level of detail that I like to add to things. If we come in here, this was kind of just supposed to be some sort of big house thing. We got a bunch of stuff, anvils and flower pots and carpet shelving and paintings and different flower pots, all kinds of crazy stuff. But we got some tables and stuff. I think this looks really cool, but I don't know, it's kind of very modern and sleek. It doesn't really fit in quite well with this world, but it doesn't look bad either. So I really wanted to go with the earthy tones in this place. I can tell. Lots of brown, lots of greens, lots of gray and charcoal colors. But yeah, so it got a little bit better, man. My building is starting to progress a little bit at a time. Hold on, gotta take my glasses off. There we go. But yeah, so I really, there's a bunch of different things that I really like. Like I like these little tables, just glass and item framed and carpet on top. They look pretty cool. And then whatever you want to call this, like a little reed garden thing. I don't know, it's pretty neat. But yeah, so we head upstairs. There's kind of like a little bedroom thing and a pool table. Oh, I forgot about the pool table. We got like a little bar over here where you can put your drinks. You can, put your phone down, whatever you want to do while you're playing pool. I don't know. We got that, and then I think you come up here. This was supposed to be like the bedroom. It was. Let's take one of these beds because we're gonna have to sleep a couple times probably. So we'll just take that. No idea what that is. And then we come up on top. Got some storage here, and then up here it was supposed to be like a garden thing, where you'd grow your flowers and just kind of a way to get up on top of the house to get a better look at things. So I don't know, kind of interesting, but a lot of my earlier builds were kind of random, and they didn't really have a theme like what we do now, because we know we've got like the new world and everything like that, and it all kind of follows a suit. But over here, everything is just kind of like a little random and interesting. And back here, this is one of my, I think probably one of the funnest builds that I've ever done. I used to come back here quite a bit because I used to harvest a lot of jungle trees and the jungle leaves. This used to be my jungle tree farm, and there's a bunch of snow back here for whatever reason. I'm not sure how that happened. Interesting. But yeah, so I used to grow all my jungle trees back here and harvest like the saplings and the wood and the leaves and different things. So I decided to build a little house back here eventually, and we called it the Party Hut. So this was supposed to be like kind of like a college frat house type thing, where you'd see we got like a little pool table here, we got a refrigerator, we've got an old steak, and just some couches and stuff for people to hang out. And then this was the coolest thing, is we had beer pong tables here. So basically what it was is we had snowballs over here at one point, and we could shoot, you know, beer pong, that kind of thing. So I don't know, man, I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. But I don't think there's much else happening around here, so it's all pretty old school stuff. What is he doing? That's the most calm rabbit I've ever seen. But yeah, so I guess, is there a lot of other stuff around here that we need to go look at? I'm afraid that if we go look at everything, this episode's going to be like 2 hours long, but I don't know. I guess we could probably try to attempt it, and then we'll just kind of go from there and see. So we've got pretty much all of these things shown off. Now we could do this back here. This is kind of like this is an old spot. We never really spent a whole lot of time back here, but I thought it looked really cool. This is one of my cobble reserves. I've got tons and tons of cobble from digging this out. At one point, this was all a solid mountain, and we dug most of it out using TNT, a lot of TNT, but a lot of it was just digging, because this, like, I don't like the way this looks. I guess it's more cavey looking, but I don't like the way that it really looks. But the idea for in here was we were supposed to kind of add like a fairies temple from like Zelda or something, you know, inside of a mountain, kind of hidden away. And then you come back down here again with the vines, lots of vines everywhere. But I wanted just kind of like a hidden enchanting room. So down here we have what is this called? An enchanting table. I was about to call it an enchanter. But yeah, so we used to just come down here, and this is, I guess this is kind of more updated than the other one. We didn't need to have all the bookshelves, but yeah, so there's no grinder or anything down here. You'd think there would be, but it was supposed to be just kind of like a hidden enchanting room or something like that, some sort of like lost temple place. But yeah, I don't know, it's a thing. I don't think there's anything else in here. I don't think we ever did anything. There's a lot of extra space. I wanted to do some stuff in here, but I couldn't even tell you what my ideas were anymore. It's been so long ago. So I think this was probably, I want to say like episode 20, 30, something like that. So this was, I mean, like over probably like 2.5 years ago. Why is Pig dying? Where did Pig die? Did he drown? Where? Why? What? I don't know. Okay, so we've got everything up to that house there. I guess the smart thing to do would be to get on paw mules. We're gonna head over here, and we'll show off some stuff here. This was my original tree farm, where I had just my normal oak saplings and things like that. We used to grow them around in this big field here, and I'd come and cut them down and just replant. And these glass spots here are sunlights, I guess, or like skylights down into that automated tree farm that we just looked at a minute ago, just to kind of brighten the place up because it was really dark down there. Over here we have a witch hut, which I built for Halloween, which was pretty cool. This is before you could get cobwebs, and we actually had to cheat these in, so that was kind of interesting. That was a long time ago, and we used to have a witch in here running around, kind of causing havoc, but since then it looks like the zombies have broke in, and the witch has found a new home, so not a whole lot there. Now, over here, I'm trying to remember what's... Oh, okay, let's see if this still... If I can find my way through here. Oh, now here, coming up this way, this goes to my old zombie grinder. Let's see if we can even get down there still. Let's tie you off. Now I think if we come, yeah, we have a water drop here, which seems to be busted. Now it's all broken off and it looks different now, but this used to be the outside of it where we used to stand like right here, I think, and then we'd have to go in and kill them, and we have a bunch of like, drops and stuff in here. So, ooh, we got a bunch of torches in here. I'll take those. What else is there? Some iron? I'm gonna grab this now because I'm never gonna come back over here probably, so should be good. But yeah, so you can hear the zombies in there, and oh, okay, we actually, this leads up to here. Okay, so we can show you this real quick. We won't have to do it in the Nether, but I decided to change this up and add in an one of the water elevators, like a mob-evator, I think is what they're called. And how do I get up here? I think it's over here maybe. But I wanted to make a zombie grinder that looked a little bit more like a dungeon. So we ended up adding in like the cobble and the mossy cobble floor. The water elevator here, it looks like it's broken. There used to be signs every other water block so that they'd float up. Since I've updated the world, the water has given me the most trouble because it like updates or something like that, or some things are missing and it doesn't work quite as well. But yeah, so we got an enchanter here to do all our enchanting if we decided to get any levels and stuff from these guys, but they'd come and they'd fall right here, and then we just hack at them with the sword. We never got this thing working perfectly, but it worked pretty well. So I don't know, pretty nice stuff, man. Pretty nice stuff. And then come back down here. Let's find our way back down. Is it here? Yeah. So you can hear them spawning in there, but I don't think it's actually working. I don't know. But then we had a elevator here, which makes a funny noise now, and that was how we used to get in and out of the whole thing. But since then I've added another portal and it's connected through the Nether, so it's a lot easier to get in and out of things. And then over here is my plains biome, which is empty. It's very plainy, a plain plains biome. Oh gosh, but I feel like we're rambling. Are we rambling? I think we're rambling. At this point, we're probably going to be rambling a lot. Over here, oh, this is pretty cool. This was kind of like our hidden oasis thing. It used to be kind of serve as my sugarcane farm. We used to just grow sugarcane here, and along with we used to have sugarcane like all the way around this like little area here. Now, all the terrain and stuff that you're seeing, most of this is all natural, so I haven't done too much terraforming and stuff over here, so a lot of this is like just the way it was. All the trees, like I said, I planted, and we kind of did excuse me, our own thing with the trees, but everything else is pretty natural, except for some spots over here that we'll show you. This used to be an old sheep farm, which I don't think it really works anymore. There's no sheep, at least. But yeah, so you used to have like a bunch of sheep on either side here, and then you turn these on and these guys would start hopping up and down, and so you'd walk up and down with shears and trim them all. The wool would go into these hoppers, which would fall into these chests, and then you just turn that back off, and then they'd eat their grass and regrow their wool and kind of move on. So it looks like our sheep are over here now. Having a lot of weird issues with animals spawning in the world, but that's okay. So in here was like our little farm hut. We used to just have a bed. We used to spend a lot of time over on the farm. Yeah, that fish can stay there. That's fine. That's cool. I keep saying a lot because I don't even know. Where'd you go? What the heck, horse? Oh, there you are. But yeah, so that was my old farm kind of house, and then eventually we came back. This is kind of when I really discovered building in Minecraft, like really adding a lot of smaller detail to really make things look cool. And this was our barn, and we used to have cows in here on this side. I think I have like a looting 3. Let's see what this sword is. Maybe it's better than the one I got now. Oh, of course you had to go in there. Looting 2, fire aspect 2, sharpness 3, knockback 2. So I used to come in here. This is where I get all my steak and everything. So I don't know. It's kind of old. Upstairs. I have like a chicken coop, but I don't think we ever got around to doing that. And then I had a bunch of storage in here. Just a bunch of random stuff. Man. Just got stuff everywhere, and I don't think I'll ever come collect it. There's a new diamond sword. Let's get that. Lots of wheat, lots of seeds. But yeah, so not a whole lot happening in there. It's really kind of out of place too. Like it looks very odd now because I feel like I could have done things a little bit different, added some more color to it, because the solid color roofs it's very plain Jane, and I don't really dig it too much. It looks like all our horses are gone, but this used to be our stable. We used to have a horse in each one of these pins. And yeah, since I was having the problems with the mobs despawning and things like that, it looks like we lost pretty much all of them. So no big deal, because I don't really come over here too often anymore. But yeah, so this used to be our wheat fields, and when I updated the world to the amplified terrain, it messed up all, I guess, like the data for these blocks here. They used to be all wheat. That's why there's a bunch of puddles around here, just to keep all the wheat from growing, or make the wheat grow. And it looked really, really cool, but it was a lot of work, and I don't think I'll ever have another wheat field quite that big again. But it was a lot of fun. It looked really cool too from a distance. But yeah, like I said, I don't think we'll ever do anything like that again. Alright, so I had a drink of water. We are good to go now. Lots of talking today. It's gonna be a talky one. But yeah, so this project here was something that I wanted to start, but I ended up moving it over to the Hypermine server. Now this was before we reset. The idea was to build a big city here with a lot of tall skyscrapers and things like that. And we ended up resetting on something I started to build. I dug this huge hole here in this world, and then I went and did the same thing on the server, because I had a really cool idea for building like a nice underground skyscraper type thing. Lots of different rooms and passages and things like that, but we have the remnants of it here in this world, but we haven't done anything with it. This horse is driving me crazy. I just got off of him a minute ago, and he did the same thing. He took off over here. But we ended up, I tried to move this over to the Hypermine server, but we ended up resetting before the final project. I kind of just slacked off on it. We didn't get a whole lot done, but who knows, maybe someday we'll come back and do something cool over here, because I mean a majority of the work is done. Now it would just be all building and different things, but as you can see, this was a huge amount of work. Most of this I did, well actually all of this I did without a beacon, without a haste 2 beacon. So as you can imagine, it took a very, very long time to do. Got a lot of stuff in here too. But it was really cool. So I think we ended up, yeah, these are just skylights down to the bottom to get rid of the void fog. And oh, we can't go down there with a horse. He won't be able to get back up. But yeah, so down there is like I have an auto smelter for using smooth stone to make all these bricks. Get out of here, guy. Be gone. That's a strong little dude. Don't fall off, you dummy. Oh, that's okay. I guess we can go through the portal over here. But yeah, so we have our kind of like auto smelter here to make all the smooth stone, but then I ended up making a silk touch pick, and we have a smooth stone generator. I don't think this works anymore. We'll see. Hold on. Yeah, it does work. Okay. Yeah, so we got the smooth stone generator here, so we can basically just sit here and farm. This is much nicer when I had my beacon set up, and we had a I needed to come back with a beacon to finish some of this stuff, but used to just sit here with Instamine and go right through them all, and then they ended up falling in this chest here. So there's my silk touch. I'm gonna take this. I don't think I have a good silk touch pick anymore. Let's see what else. What other goodies we got around here? Stone bricks, lots of lapis and redstone. Is there a bunch of coal in here? Coal blocks? There's some. Oh, black wool. Why? What? I have no idea. I don't even know. I don't know why there's black wool in there. Where'd that horse go? Did he go through the Nether? He must have, because he is not here. But yeah, so like I said, this is kind of like a remnant of a past project and things like that. We haven't done too much with it. And why is this guy black? That's weird. But who knows? Someday we might come back and finish it. I highly doubt it. But oh, there was also something up top that I was going to show you guys too, but it's basically things that you've seen before. I kind of did like an old destroyed road kind of going in. Like I said, I was wanting to do like a city, like an abandoned city type build. And so I did the roads and stuff like that, but it's nothing too interesting. If you've seen the way I do my paths and stuff now, it's kind of the same deal, just with some different blocks and whatnots. So welcome to the Nether. This is the old Nether. Now, we've got this huge Nether rail over here, which I don't even know where these portals go anymore, because I've updated the world and I've used MC Edit. When I moved this world into the amplified biome, because I wanted to play in the amplified biome so much, I had to cut off a bunch of the excess stuff, and I think these portals got all jacked up. So I don't think they actually take you to the same spots anymore. But we had this huge, nice kind of like Nether portal here. This used to go to like our old sand harvesting area. Thing in here. But it's pretty cool looking, man. I spent a lot of time making all the detail and stuff in here. I think it looked pretty nice, using the different facing stairs and the leaves and glowstone and stuff like that. I don't know. I had a lot of fun building in the Nether. I really enjoy making Nether tunnels for some reason. And then it continues to go on back here a little ways. I think it goes to another portal down that way, which used to be our old sky mob farm. So if you've seen our newer sky mob drop thing, it was basically the same build. It was just out over an ocean, and this is how I used to get to it. So not a lot happening over here, and I seem to really like these activator rails that powered the red powered rails for some reason. I don't know if that's like the best way to do that or not. Apparently I thought it was. You come through. Let's see, is there a spot we can tie this guy up? I don't think there's a fence post in here anywhere. Do I have any? I know where we can tie him up. We can tie him up over here. I do have a horse stable here. We've got a slime in here. Get out of here, guy. Be gone with you. Little slimes. Chill out, man. Alright, there we go. Let's put you there. Let's click that, and we're going to drop this off in that chest there, along with all these slime balls. Everything's a mess, man. So this portal here, this will take you over to that zombie spawner that we just showed off, and this takes you back to the Nether portal I had, like right next to the smeltery and by the staircase. So that's kind of like my main Nether portal to get back over to the old world there. And then over here, do I have flint and steel? Good, 'cause we might need to relight some of these portals. I'm not real sure. If we come in this one, I believe this one is going to take us underneath the storage house over kind of in the old... No, this actually works. Up to the Sky Gardens. Okay, cool. I thought that this portal was broken. We were going to have to climb up here. But this project was one of my favorites. Okay, so I built some floating sky islands up here. This was kind of like the portal island. And then we were going to come up with a cool way to get in between the islands down here. Let's see. Come down here. This was kind of like a dojo that I built. Now, what really made me mad about this is they updated the biomes so that certain biomes above a certain height produce ice and snow. So after a certain height or whatever, instead of raining, it'll start snowing, and it covers everything with snow, and it makes all the water source blocks ice. And what really made me mad is because the idea that I had with this build, it was supposed to be a very green, a very lush, kind of like jungly type build. And after I built it, they changed it, and it all just went to crap, man. Everything froze over, it got covered with snow, and then I just kind of decided to scrap the whole deal. So, but nonetheless, this was a pretty cool spot. We got a couple islands that we didn't use because they happened after the fact of the biomes changing. and we just couldn't really do anything with it. So I think since then this biome has changed back to, I changed it I think in World Edit to be a forest biome. Yeah, so forest biomes don't freeze over, but the only problem is we'd have to come back in and get rid of all this snow, all the ice, and a bunch of different things. So it's just a lot of work, and I think if I'm going to do Sky Islands again, I'll probably just start from scratch and we'll do something even cooler. So yeah, but this was like a dojo type area. I was going to do some cool stuff in here, but I don't even remember what it was. And let's see. Over here we have kind of like our little water mill type thing. It was like a water, I think they're called water mills. Everything's froze over, of course, but we used to have water running down this whole thing, so it was kind of one of those, what are they called? Water mills? For whatever reason, that sounds wrong to me. I don't know. But this is a thing. We had a bunch of cool stuff in here. This is like when the hay bales first came out, so I was using those as decoration and doing a bunch of other cool stuff in here. But there's not a whole lot going on in here anymore. For some reason, I thought that was a chest. Basically just another area for bulk storage if we ever decided to use it, but we never really did anything. I used a lot of chests for decoration too. So, I don't know, pretty cool spot. Not a whole lot going on over here, and like I said, it's very disappointing that they changed the biome to do that, and it really kind of ruined all my plans for the whole thing. But like I said, there was a couple of islands. I think it was just one. Yeah, so I think we have like a 4 in total. There was just like one that we couldn't do anything with. And let's head up here. 1, 2. Okay, so there was 2. Oh, there's a total of 5 islands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. But these things were really fun to make, man. I gotta say, it was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. We did a trick with basically what I did was, I think the insides of them are all stone. Basically how this works is you pillar up with dirt, and you kind of set up like a little pool, and then you kind of just start adding layer upon layer upon layer using water and lava. So what I did was I made like a little dirt pool, right? And then I filled that dirt pool with water, and then I'd set the lava on the sides or whatever, and then it would pour over and make smooth stone. So a lot of the smooth stone here you can see is from just basically making a smooth stone generator and doing some stuff like that, just on a large scale. But it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. A couple of things I didn't show you over there. I guess we'll have to swing back by real quick. Okay, see, yeah, this portal is supposed to take you down to the portal underneath the work hut that I was talking about. Let's see if we can get back underneath there real quick. Let's try standing closer to this side, see if that makes a difference. Nope. Okay. Let's sleep real quick, and then we're gonna jump down and show you some cool stuff. See if I can see it from up here, and I'll show you kind of like a top view before we jump down. Oh man, so many memories. Something that I'd be interested in is, what was the first build that you saw in my series? Like when you came and you found my Minecraft World series, what was the thing that I was working on? Because that'd be kind of interesting. Is this a real block, or is that just a snow block? Oh, okay, it's a real block. Okay, so you can't really see a whole lot of this from here, but underneath here is a forest that I made by planting a bunch of trees. And there's a hut somewhere in there that we made and decorated, but I'm not even going to attempt to try to find it because I don't even know where it is. My voice is starting to go out. I haven't talked like this in a while. But yeah, so I planted all these trees, and it took a very, very long time for all these to grow. There's probably still a ton of saplings in there that aren't getting the proper lighting, or a tree grew over the top of them or something like that. But I think it turned out really cool. I really liked this area, and it was a lot of fun to make. There's just so much stuff going on. A lot of vines, which eventually I guess that they'll end up growing all the way down, but we just haven't been over here. And those are all the ones that I've built on. So that was kind of how I used to be able to tell. I think that one actually has the watermill on it, but we never added the vines. But the other ones up there, it's got the dojo and the spawn portal up at the top of that one. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting, man. It's going back and looking at all these old builds. So this is kind of really where I decided to start focusing on my building and how things looked aesthetically, instead of just building things that just looked kind of neat. You know what I mean? We'll come back to this here in just a minute, so we're going to swing back over here. This is my obsidian tower pillar thing. This is when beacons first came out. I think we built this before beacons were a thing. And then eventually I was planning on putting a beacon like in the inside of it. I think I called this thing the double helix because it was kind of like a DNA strand kind of swerving around. But I don't know, it was pretty cool. I decided to build it out of obsidian since we haven't really used a whole lot of obsidian in anything. But I don't know, it was pretty old school, man. Old school. Oh, it's so weird going back and looking at this. And for those of you who are old members and you've been around for a very, very long time, this was a railway. I used to have a roller coaster in this world that I have since torn down, unfortunately, but we had a roller coaster connecting this area here with that world over there. The roller coaster went like up and around, and then it went underwater for a little bit, and then it ended up over at a station kind of over by the fish dock that we showed at the very, very beginning of the episode. So that's like super old, and we haven't I haven't built any kind of roller coaster since then because I hate roller coasters. But yeah, so this was kind of, this area we kind of started to build to a theme. I call this place the Metropolis because the idea was to build a bunch of skyscrapers and different things like that, and this was like one of the very first things we ever built. And I don't know, you can see the level of detail that went into this, just a bunch of smooth stone and glass. This is kind of interesting. This episode, I don't even know what the episode is, but I remember what the episode title is. It's like my Minecraft world, Mars is ugly, I believe. Basically, this is a miniature replica of Mars because when, I think it was, what's the rover that's on Mars now? Curiosity or something like that. We built this like the day after it landed on Mars in real life, so we kind of just added this in here. So it's just a bunch of netherrack and stuff like that, but I thought it was kind of cool just to have like a floating sphere here. But I think that's really it for the front. Now we'll head back down here. This is kind of, let's get back up there. This over here was my second house. So when we first started off this series, I wasn't real sure if I just wanted to have like a continuous running series, or if I wanted to split it up into seasons and kind of start a new season every now and then. And this is back when I decided that I wanted to do seasons for a little while, but since then we've reverted back to just having numbered episodes and not have to confuse you guys with seasons and all kinds of other crazy crap. But this was season 2, and this was kind of my house. Now I wanted to build someplace different than we did in season 1, which is everything that you saw over there. And so we came over here and we made this like little house. It's supposed to be a little bit more modern, a little bit more city-esque instead of just like a village with a bunch of random things. So like I said, we kind of started building to a theme a little bit more. And I always wanted to do something back here, but I never did. I thought it was cool that you could like hide hidden doors with paintings. But yeah, so over here we made like a bunch of like taller buildings, kind of more like apartment building style things. This was supposed to be one of those. It was an apartment complex type build. We had like multiple floors with multiple rooms. Not a whole lot going on over here. Most of this stuff is all unfinished, and it's going to stay that way because I don't really feel like it coming back and trying to fix everything up. But we had our smeltery room here with all kinds of furnaces. And then over here we have our portal room, which I wanted to do some cool stuff here, but again, we never got around to doing anything with it. I wanted to have some sort of like mage's tower here. I don't even know. I don't know, man. So there's our portal. It goes back to the Nether, which we're going to take to get back. Over here we have like a little staircase that goes up that way. I wanted to do some stuff kind of going up into the mountains, but never did anything there. And then over here we have our swimming pool, which is really cool. No rhyming intended. But we got our little grills here. So this was the design that I saw in an old version of our old video of Chimney Swifts. For those of you who don't know, the way this show works is basically the same way the Minecraft files used to work. It's kind of you guys submit ideas and builds and things like that. We do try to replicate those ideas and builds in this world. And that's kind of where the whole premise of this series started. So when I first started doing YouTube and stuff like that, Chimney Swift was a very huge inspiration of mine. And it's kind of where I got the idea for my Minecraft world and how things run in this series. But over here was like farms and stuff. We used to have chickens, pigs, and cows. But when what's this shovel? Oh, it's a fortune shovel. You can keep it. But when I was having the issues with the mobs, like this was full of cows, man. I used to come over here and just load up on steak, but everything despawned, so I lost everything. We used to have some wheat and carrots grown here, so I could breed the chickens and pigs. We have I guess this is still a thing. Our reed farm. I used to come over here and collect all the reeds for paper and different things. But I forgot that we had that, honestly. There's so much stuff, man. So much stuff to this world. And we are about halfway through. Oh, there's still so much to go. Let's see. Over here, this is where it gets interesting. Because a lot of this is still unfinished, like everything else. But this is where kind of the creative building really kind of kicked in for me. So we got a little storage area here. Not a whole lot happening. I think I've already come and cleaned most of the stuff that we had in here. So most of these chests are empty. Yeah, a bunch of junk. We had another branch mine down below. And then we come into the cool spot, man. So this was kind of like a pool. Just a big thing of water here. And we decided to build kind of like up and down, like into the water. And then we built up to a couple spots. And this was originally just like a cactus farm. I think I used to grow cactus in here. It was supposed to be like a desert pyramid. I think this is about the time that they added the desert temples into the game. So I decided to build one of my own. I finally figured out how to grow giant mushrooms, so we have like a little mushroom forest there. We have a skyscraper here, which is completely empty on the inside. There's nothing there. I think I even left a sign saying it was under construction, do not enter. Yep, exactly what I said. And it's supposed to be like kind of like an office building with like a, I don't even know, like a penthouse thing at the top, but it's all empty. And then down here we have our gardens, which again, since we updated the world, the water is all funky. So you can see down there we've got some melons and pumpkins and reeds. And then I think underneath here we I guess it still kind of works, but another wart farm, which this used to be like where I just did everything. I used to have all my farms all in one spot, and we wouldn't have to worry about running around to different areas and things like that. So we had some wheat and potatoes and carrots and stuff growing over here, but the water has ruined everything. It's all messed up now. A bunch of stuff over here. Bread? Ooh. I haven't seen bread in like a long time. But yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy fancy, but at the time when I was building this, I really liked it. It's very nostalgic coming back over here and looking at everything. But definitely not some of the best work I've ever done. But under here we have a couple of different things. So this was supposed to be like an underground skyscraper. As you can see, lots of cobble. Lots of cobble. In here we had kind of like an armory type thing where I was planning on doing a bunch of cool stuff and we could come back and add armor stands, but we never did. It's just all kinds of junk, man. It's crazy. I don't know, it's super old. I don't even remember like building any of this stuff. It's been so long ago. Then you come down. I don't think we ever did anything with these rooms. We just kind of had some rooms to do stuff with. And then if you come down to the very bottom, we had kind of like a dungeon area thing, where it was basically just like a pool where you'd come and put your prisoners or something. I don't even know. I don't know. It's old, man. How did I used to get in and out of this thing? I don't even remember. There we go. That's broken. But yeah, so what else? There's nothing else down here. Let's head back up here. Couple of other things here that we can show. There is, well, I guess this is where it gets kind of interesting. So this is, like I said, where the creative building process really kind of started to kick in. Doing some cool stuff and adding, look at all the vines, man. I told you I was addicted to vines for a while. But I made this library, so it was kind of like a library down, I forget what we called it, like the Atlantis Library or something. But basically, you could just come and sit down and read your books, do whatever you wanted to, and not a whole lot to it. The only way in and out of this thing is to actually climb up here. You can climb over here, and then you're good. But if we continue going up top, I thought this was like the coolest thing I've ever built, man. Add a lot, some detail, adding the stone fences, and then adding the sconces and stuff on the way up. But as you can tell, it's a lot of cobble, man. A lot of cobble. It's kind of hurts the eyes now. Let's eat real quick. I'm getting so lost, man. Like, it's just lost in nostalgia. It's so old. Come over here. This is our Nether potion, or like, I don't even know what a potion shop, potion lab thing. Which I wanted to do some cool stuff in here. We used to have an iron golem walking around up here, but I guess he despawned with everything else. But yeah, a bunch of just random items around here. But we used to brew all our potions in here. So we had a water source here, and then all our brew stands. We'd fill everything up, and then we get kind of to and from all this stuff here. And then over here, we kind of added like an upstairs room to this whole thing, but there wasn't a whole lot going on here. I think it's just a... Oh, no, wait, there's one more thing up here, too. There's a Christmas tree, man. This was like, I think 3 Christmases ago. We decided to add this Christmas tree up here with presents and stuff. This is... I don't know if they still do it, but like every Christmas, I think they update the chest to actually look like Christmas presents. And we built the Christmas tree up here. But this was supposed to be kind of like an office, like an executive conference room, I think is what it was supposed to be. So, I don't know, kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. So that's really all I can say. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this area here. Now I'm going to head back and I'll meet you guys through the Nether portal, and then we'll go check out the stronghold, which there's not much to see over there. We'll go take a look at the end farm, and then we'll kind of just move on to the newer area. So it should be a little bit more familiar to some of you guys. So give me just a second, I'll meet you right over there. Alright, so we're back here in the Nether. Now, this is the portal that we just came out of. This takes you to the Metropolis, and this one on this side takes you to the end. Or I guess the stronghold, which then takes you to the end. And over here on the other side, we have a blaze spawner up there. It's not a blaze farm, but it's just a spawner. It was the very first one I ever found in here, so you can kind of see the cobble path going up and around there. It takes you to another fortress, which again we never really did anything with. But from here you can kind of see the outside of the Nether hub, and this was a lot of fun, man. I really like building in the Nether. It's a challenge to say the least, but it's a lot of fun. So if you've never tried to build like a big kind of like intertwined Nether hub like this, I definitely suggest it, man. It's really cool. Just make sure you have lots of fire resistance potions and lots of food and a bow and arrow for gas. That's all I can say. But yeah, so we come through on this side. This is our stronghold. Now this is before we could actually make cracked and mossy stone bricks. So I started stripping this place to be able to use these blocks in different areas. So it was a lot of fun. There's still a lot here, but as you can see, most of this stuff has all been stripped, all the walls and all the different things like that. I tried to collect as much as I could. I'd just come in here and fill up my inventory. And yeah, so this is some backup, like old backup gear I had for... Can we take a speed potion and a night vision potion? Let's take a couple of these. Regen. We'll just take a couple speed and night vision. There we go. Much better. But yeah, I never really built anything in the stronghold. It was just kind of more to use to collect those blocks and different things like that. But over here in the end, we head in here. This will take you... I tried seeing what grew in the Nether and what doesn't. Mushrooms will not grow big in the Nether, just FYI. You'd think they would because it's perfect and nice and dark, but it just doesn't work. Oh, this could be bad. I didn't sleep in a bed, so I have no idea where I'm gonna spawn. Or did I sleep in a bed? Maybe I did. I don't remember. But yeah, so heading over here is our end farm, where we collect our ender pearls, and this is where I do most of my enchanting. So it's the fastest way I have to gain XP in this world. Now I spent a lot of time in this. This is like when we had quartz and stuff. Quartz had just came out and they looked really fancy, along with the stained clay and different colors here. So I decided to add a bunch of different colors and kind of make this a very vibrant looking area. All kinds of crap in these chests, man. So much stuff over here. But yeah, so this is still to the day where I come and do most of my enchanting and stuff. So I have pretty much everything I need here to do most of my enchanting. These guys, goodness, that's loud. Let's do sound, hostile creatures. Let's turn that down to like 7. Much better. So right now we have the farm set to kill mode, so I can collect ender pearls, and we get some random spawns every now and then. So these guys like didn't take enough damage, but everything else should fall from up there, and they should all die when they hit the ground. But that's for ender pearl farming, and if I want to get XP, we push this button, and the floor pops up, and now all of these guys fall, and they are all one shot. So if we come in here, we can just punch them all with our fists. Minus a couple of these guys, for whatever reason, they don't take enough damage when they fall. I don't know. But yeah, so this is the end farm. I'm very proud of this build. This was like the first major mob farm I ever built. And I think I followed like, was it Doc M's tutorial? I can't remember whose it is now. But it took days, I think like maybe like a week or so to build. It took a long time to make, but the end result is pretty cool, man. So that is that. Looks like our inventory, we're not even doing anything this episode. My inventory is getting all clogged up. What's with that, man? But yeah, so that's pretty much that. Now I'm gonna meet you guys back over the Nether portal wherever I spawn. Hopefully I spawn to somewhere close, but we'll see. Oh, okay, so we did actually spawn over here. So this spawn is still pretty true to the whole deal. So that's pretty cool. It looks like it's moved a little bit more to the left-hand side there, but I guess it's still kind of like the general area, so that's not bad. Not bad at all. There was a point, I think I had to reset the actual spawn point to over here, because when I updated this world to the amplified terrain, it used to spawn you in the middle of like a amplified desert, which I don't even know where that is, to be honest, and so I ended up having to reset it over here because it just made things a little bit easier for you guys to understand when you get the world downloads and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the old world tour. Now we're gonna move on to where we've been working at for I think like the last year or so, and yeah, hopefully I think you guys will be able to see the difference in detail that I have developed in building. And also, if I'm missing anything, oh, we forgot to check this out. I guess while we're here, we'll check these things out too. We're not going to go into them too much, but this is a lighthouse I made that was very, very early on in the series, which I thought that looked really cool, but now it's just kind of, it looks like a big willy. But this right here was the very first subscriber house. So whenever you guys submitted your ideas for builds and things like that, we'd write it down on a book, and we'd put it in here. So you can see those item frames and stuff right there. Those are item frames with books that show off the username and comment and stuff like that for the actual build. So the original idea was to have this 2-story, and eventually we'd fill everything up. But not too long after we built this, we got the amplified terrain, and we moved on to bigger and better things. So I don't know. And then in the bottom there is a sugarcane farm, which is where I used to grow the paper for the books for the user requests. So that's pretty much it. There's a little dock and fishing station. I don't know if I showed that off earlier or not. A bunch of stuff there. There's my mini cactus farm here, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But if I'm missing anything, oh, every time I say that, I find something else. This is Rock Bottom Motel. Basically, it's just a bunch of little rooms in here. It looks like their zombies took care of all the doors for me, except for that one over there. But yeah, we used to have an iron golem in there. He was the gatekeeper, but it's kind of interesting. But other than those things that I forgot about, if I forgot anything else, be sure to leave it down below in a comment. And if you know where it is, leave a comment down below saying where it is. And then that way everybody can go download the world and they can come check it out for themselves if we didn't go over it today. So was going to do something down there, decided not to. But yeah, so let's head back to the Nether, and then we're going to head over to the new world. This is our Nether tunnel, man. For those of you who don't know, if there's no horse here for you to use, and if you have plenty of food, there's an ice track on this side. So basically you just run and sprint and jump on this side. It makes it much quicker. But obviously if you have a horse, it's better because you don't use hunger. But, oh goodness. Okay, so that's the way we came from. This is where we're going. But this is the tunnel that I built going over to the new world. Originally when I made this, it was just a little tiny tunnel going all the way through these Netheric mountains. And this is where we set up a random portal just to see where we ended up in the amplified world. And the very first one that we took, this is where we ended up starting our builds. So, I don't know, very, very long tunnel. I came back in afterwards and added all of this, all the stone bricks and everything here. The lighting is still all jacked up. But, it works. It serves its purpose. Lots of iron bars again. I've been using a lot of iron for decorative things, but I think I showed this off not too long ago in an episode, but over there, this is my new sand farm. Basically, it just takes you to a desert, and that's where I collect all my sand and sandstone if I ever need it. And then here, I guess we're going to check out the Nether first. That just makes a little bit more sense. So, this will take you back to the build a little bit closer to like all the buildings. This takes you to the actual Nether portal that I had set up in the area. And then up here, please don't die, horse. I've lost so many horses in the Nether. That's not even funny. But coming up here, this is our Nether skeleton farm, I guess you could say. Basically, all this is a fortress. This is relatively new, too. I spent a lot of time on this probably like 2 months ago, if that. Maybe less than that, I'm not real sure. But basically all this is a fortress all kind of like leveled out, and then just spawning platforms for Nether skeletons to spawn for us to collect their skulls. It's not the most efficient thing, but it works, and I think I now have 4 beacons, and I think I have like 6 more skulls or something like that, so we could fight a couple more withers if we needed to. But yeah, not a whole lot going on. It doesn't look very pretty, and I don't know, but it does its purpose. It serves its purpose, so we're good. And then up here, I have up on top of the Nether, I guess above the bedrock layer, I have like a tree farm. That's typically where I try to collect most of my leaves, just because it makes it easy. I can grow everything up there really quick and nice and simple. But that's really it for this area here. Now, if we come down here, this will take you over to our guardian farm. Let's where'd my horse go? Let's just go ahead and take the horse over there real quick. It'll make things easier, much quicker. So this will take you, where does this portal take you? Oh, this takes you to our mob farm, which we'll check out on the way back from the guardian farm. But this tunnel here, if you take this all the way down, this is going to take you over to where our guardian farm is, which I think this is probably like the project that took the longest amount of time to make, because this guy is huge. Getting rid of all the water, using the sponges and sand and gravel and all that kind of stuff to remove all the water source blocks, it just takes way too long, and I will probably never make another guardian farm again unless I just get really bored or something. I'm not real sure what would provoke me to actually try to make another one, but who knows. But I am very, very happy with the way this came out, man. So we call this the research facility, or at least I call it. I don't know if you guys call it anything other than a guardian farm. But yeah, just recently I got rid of all the chests and everything that were over here. So this was all, I had a bunch of just like storage and stuff that I had used to dig all of this out, and had a bunch of random blocks here. But yeah, so this is the guardian farm, or the research facility. Now, I spent a lot of time doing a lot of aesthetic stuff around here, kind of making it look like an overgrown or like forgotten about area. You got like kind of like the little water vents and stuff here to keep the water levels down, and these all go out to the ocean. You can see we're surrounded by water, but inside here, there used to be an old guardian temple right here. But if we come over here, take a look on the inside, you can see that we've got a bunch of fences in there. We've got a bunch of dispensers up at the top, and if we press this button here, those dispensers are going to release water, and they'll start flowing down, and the guardians will start spawning. So if we back up a little bit, and then actually let's do this real quick. Video settings, we'll turn this back up to 16 so everything spawns in nice and normally. But as you can see, they start spawning, and then they fall down. They die on this floor down below, and if we head down there, let's see, what's the best way? I guess going down this thing here. Do I have water in this water drop? I don't, but I think we'll survive. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, so basically in here we have an auto collection system, and it uses these mine carts here, which go back and forth, and they'll pick up the items, and they'll come over here, and if there's items in the minecart, you'll see it kind of stall here for a second, and it unloads it into this chest here. And then eventually we're going to get in here and actually set this up. So we have an item elevator, which drops all the items from these chests, goes into a water stream. And then here we'll have an item elevator that goes all the way up to the top, and then we'll have some sort of storage I don't know, on the surface, I guess. That way we won't have to come all the way down here to collect the drops. But yeah, this has probably been like the most most work I've ever put into a project, man. I really like the way it all turned out. It's still not 100% finished. I'd like to get in and redo the walls, but I don't think I'm ever going to. We may do that like on a live stream or something at some point, but it's just a lot of work and I'm not really interested in doing it right now. So I think I'm just having more fun just building random things and adding on to the village that we're at right now. But that's the Guardian Farm. That's pretty much all there is to this place here. One of the things that I really liked, the things that I came up with for this area up here, I don't know why it's such a small thing, but these guys, these are like valves. You ever see like the metal spike with like the red valve on top? It was supposed to be like a way to shut these things off, maybe. This is like a little decorative thing. I don't know. I really thought that was cool. Nice and interesting. But yeah, so let's head back to the Nether. We'll grab our horse and we're gonna go check out the mob farm. I'm gonna try to speed things along just a little bit for this last little spot. Alright, so this is going to take you up to our sky drop, or like the mob drop farm that we have. And we built this not too terribly long ago, but this is it definitely came in really handy because I needed bone meal and I needed string. I definitely get a lot of both from this, which is really handy. So if we turn this on, you can see that the number of entities should be starting to grow up there a little bit slowly. But yeah, so these guys should eventually start falling down here, and basically underneath these slabs here we have a hopper system which drops everything off in this chest here. So yeah, not a whole lot to this. This is just, I think it's Ethos design or some spawn of Ethos design, something or other. But it's just a bunch of water or platforms up there with water streams. The mobs will eventually walk off the platforms into the water stream, and then they'll fall here, and then fall over here, take their death damage thing. And then we get their drops, which is really handy. So it looks like we got some witches and stuff in here, and any of the armor that these guys end up wearing. So yeah, not a whole lot going on up here. One of the things that I really wanted to add to this build was these chains here. So it kind of like shows like this is floating and this kind of platform is hanging underneath it. This was a design that I brought over from the Hypermine modded server a couple seasons past. Which I ended up doing with Carpenter's Blocks, one of the mods that we had in the pack, and it looked really cool. But I thought we could kind of mimic it here in vanilla Minecraft using stairs and stuff like that, and it came out really nice. I think it looks really, really awesome. But yeah, so that's pretty much the Sky Farm. Not a whole lot going on here, but it works, it does it, it has its purpose, and that's pretty much it. So now this is where things get good, man. So this is where we've been over the last year or so. I think a little bit over a year now. But this is the Misty Mountains, man. This is, I think that's what I used to call it a long time ago, but I'm not real sure. This is the spot that we've been building it over the last year or so. There's very heavily themed. Well, that didn't work out quite as well as I planned. Let's swim up here. But yeah, so you guys will be kind of able to tell what the theme is throughout this area, but it's kind of like a Nordic village, mountain village type thing. It's a little bit old school, a little bit more medieval than doing like the modern stuff like that, but I think it's the most enjoyable for me to have these kind of builds around the area. And yeah, so this is where it all started, man, over here in this spot. This is the very first thing we built in this area, was the subscriber hut. On Subscriber Island. So basically, when we started off, all these item frames here, they all had user requests, user comments and stuff of builds that we had made. Had all the extra books here so I could add new books to the wall. This is where I do some enchanting if I just get random levels and I need to do something here. Fortune 2. But yeah, so this is where it all started, man. This was our first house. I used to have a bed down here. I actually still have a bed down here. And this is where I had most of my storage. Looks like I still got a bunch of wooden things in there. All that. It's all good to go. But I've got plenty of storage over in the new spot now. But yeah, so this is where it all started off, man. We got that dog Chaos right here, which was a request from somebody. Just to name it that dog Chaos. And then, yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't even know how I'm supposed to explain all this. This is just building at my finest. Like, this is, I think I've had the most growth in the way that I build things, and I've learned the most from building things over here. But yeah, so we got this bridge, the curvy bridge. I used to say the curve type bridge here. It's very awkward to build, but we finally got it all up and going. And we get some bad frames around here for some reason. I'm not real sure why. It's dipping around like 30 frames a second right now, which is a little below normal. But yeah, so lots of detail added into everything, man. I had a lot of fun building in this area. It definitely keeps my interest alive in this game. We have a sewer system here, which somebody just recently said that we should add a sewer system to this whole area, and I think we're going to. We'll have to have it connect to this. It would be really cool to do something like that underground, since we have a lot of stuff going on top on the surface. But yeah, so I made this vine farm. This is when they decided to, when you could add vines to mossy cobble and mossy bricks, or make mossy cobble and mossy bricks. You use vines for that, so I made the vine farm. That way I could collect some of the stuff. Let me try something real quick. Hold on. Okay, so the frame should be a little bit better now. It's back up to where it should be, but it'll probably dip here in just a little bit. But yeah, so this build, I'm not really sure what this is, but lots of anvils, kind of like a round table type thing, in a nice little backyard, kind of overgrown and forgotten about. A lot of this stuff is supposed to be like, it's just been overgrown. It's very green, very lush, and I don't know, I've had so much fun building this spot, man. Lots of bushes, lots of fallen logs and different things like that. It's supposed to be very like woodsy type area. Now eventually I wanted to turn this kind of like into a church, like underground. So we have a lot of like tunnels and stuff that seem to kind of connect. So this tunnel kind of connects over onto that side. We'll show you in just a minute. But I wanted to build like a church or something here. I think would be kind of cool. But that's all kind of like future stuff at this point. We'll get around to it whenever we get around to it. Let's see. Come on, eat. My mouse is being weird. My throat feels like it's bleeding. I haven't talked this much in a very, very long time. But up here we have a sheep farm, which you guys will probably remember from last episode. This is kind of just like a pit, but eventually I want to turn this into some sort of like building next to these stairs here. But for right now, it's just a little hole where I've got all my sheep. I have grown them. I have actually found a couple extras that I put in here, and then I've been using those to grow these guys. But yeah, so for next episode, I think we're gonna go back to working on the windmill, which I showed you guys up there. But we got plenty of sheep now. I just need to start collecting the wool. So and over here we've got our staircase that goes up to the Sky Ranch, which is where all the horses are. From when we first moved over here, there was horses everywhere, and I needed some place to put them up and kind of out of the way. So I made a path all the way up the side of this mountain here, and then we have a Sky Ranch on the top up there. We're not going to go up there because there's not really a whole lot to see. It's just kind of like a little fancy, nice gated off community up there for horses. And yeah, but this is our current project, which we're kind of working on, and that's what we needed the wool and the sheep for down there, is because this is going to be a windmill. So up there we kind of have like the rotor where the actual windmill is going to go, and this is just kind of like the little house hut thing that's been built up around it. So it should look pretty cool when it's all said and done. We can see it from down below. You can see the mob drop farm from up there, which is actually pretty neat, which I like. And from up here you can get a pretty good look at everything that we've done in this area here. So I don't know, pretty nice, man. It's coming along. It's coming along. You'd think it'd be, you know, a year's time we'd have a lot more done, but I guess with my schedule, this is a lot of work, man. But with my schedule, it's just pretty much all we can do at this point. But yeah, so I'll head back down to the very bottom, and then what else is there? Lots of trees. Like I said, I've added all these trees. This area used to be covered with birch trees, which I don't like the way they look, like when they're just spammed all over the place. So I've cut down a lot of them and replaced most of them with like the darker colored wood, spruce, and then the dark oak. Up here we have the monument to the smooth stones. This was my buddy Slipgator. He did a user request where he wanted a monument to the smooth stone because he likes smooth stone. So we have a big floating block of smooth stone here. We used to have a beacon underneath. You can see where the beacon goes. I think I still got it all hollowed out because eventually I'd like to put a beacon here for just permanent, like a stationary speed beacon would be nice, but got to get an iron farm up and going sooner or later. Moving on from there, we have our pathway. You can see the path everything should be pretty consistent, man. I've tried to keep everything about the same throughout this whole area, And my frames have just dropped again. I'm not real sure why. But yeah, so all the pathways and everything should look just about the same. And I don't know, it should be pretty cool. But here, this is like one of my all-time favorite builds. This was my very first like Nordic house thing. And I think it came out really well. It's very rustic, very like old school. On the inside, it's kind of a mixture of modern-esque stuff. It doesn't really fit, I don't think, but we never really come in here too often. But down here we got like a little table and some storage and like a little kitchen area type thing. So that's pretty cool. And then we got two little twinsies over here. Basically like two just mirrored houses. That this is actually where I sleep the most in this world over here. It's right here in this bed, so that's just kind of in the middle of everything, and so I just come running there. That's where I sleep most of the time. So let's see, before we move on to there, let's go up these stairs and I'll show you the King's Crossing, which is kind of one of the entrances into the future kingdom, which we're going to be making. We started a little bit over there. You can see kind of the castle and everything, but it's going to wrap around behind these mountains. So all of like the kingdom is going to be on the other side. So we called this King's Crossing, which when this episode released, you guys really enjoyed that. I think it's just the level of building that we put into this thing. It turned out really awesome, and I don't know, hopefully we can kind of mimic some of this into some of the other future builds. But yeah, so lots of cauldrons, lots of water, lots of green to go along with the gray, because I don't want everything to be super gray and gross looking. But over here we have kind of like the King's Courtyard, which is basically just an intersection to a couple different paths and things that I would eventually like to add into this. I think here we're going to add some sort of big wall that kind of like a big gate almost that kind of goes out into the wilderness. So I don't have a whole lot of plans for this area over here, but maybe eventually we can do something with it. I think this is like one of the flower biomes. It's just the one where like the flowers spawn everywhere. So I don't know. We could probably do something cool with that later on. But as of now, the plan is attentively to be a giant gate here and kind of like one of the castle walls. So, and then over here we're eventually going to have a bridge going across to the other side, because over there is a roofed forest biome, which is where I get most of my dark oak wood. And then down here we have a pathway that'll go back over to like where that churchy area is. So like I said, there's lots of like tunnels and different things that we can make around here. I think would be really cool. So can we sleep? I gotta kill this guy. Come here, guy. Get out of the way. I'm trying to make a video, man. But yeah, so this is like one of the very first times that I've ever used this. Is that andesite? I'm not sure what the white one is called. I think it's called andesite. Diorite? No. Diorite, maybe. I don't remember what it's called. But, yeah, so that's the King's Courtyard. Oh, this is a long video. Stretch it. Oh, it feels good. Everybody get up and stretch it out. Stretch your fingers. Pop your knuckles. Do whatever you gotta do. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Lots of cool little, like, lantern things that I made around here, like fire pits and whatnot. And eventually we're going to have another pathway that comes up over this way, goes over that way, and that'll kind of take you into the other side of the kingdom there, but it's all unfinished at this point. Not a whole lot going on. But if we head over here, we have our magic shop. So basically it's just kind of like a potion brewer's shop where you buy like your potion ingredients and different things like that. So I decided to build something up here on top of all this we added in. This is like the side of a cliff, but I wanted these builds to be a bit vertical. We have a lot of stuff on the ground, but I wanted to build some stuff up, and eventually we're going to have some like other huts and stuff all connected up here with some bridges and stuff going across, and doing some crazy builds, but we'll get around to that eventually. But yeah, so this is like our potion shop where you buy all your ingredients for different potions, and you brew your potions in here, which I haven't really actually ever used this for potion brewing too often, I don't think. But yeah, so I asked you guys what we should name, and somebody came back and we should call it Moria's Magic. So this is Moria's Magic Shop, which is pretty cool, man. So we come over here. Now we're getting to the good stuff. I say good stuff. Unfinished, but it's getting there. This is going to be our gardens. Eventually we're going to have like carrots and potatoes and stuff growing over here, and then might have some sort of storage in there. So I added that little area just to kind of make it a little bit more final. But this is the area where it cuts across back over to the King's Courtyard. So up there's kind of the pathway that goes around and wraps around this mountain here, which is pretty cool. But you come down these stairs, this is going to take you to the wood mill, man. This is one of the very first things we built over in this area. This is like a wood mill. So we got this natural waterfall here, and then we built this water mill that actually turns the saw. It doesn't actually turn the saw, but that's the idea. So basically we have this saw here, so the windmill would, or the water mill would turn, right? It would make this saw go up and down. It would cut this wood, which is supposed to be like a log that's coming in here, and they get loaded right here from right here, so they roll into the water pit, and then from there they float through the saw. It cuts it all up and then makes a big pile here, and then this is where everybody collects their wood, right? Makes sense? I think so. I kind of got this idea from playing Skyrim, so we have a series on my channel. It's kind of an older series now. We haven't really done it in a while because my computer can't take it. But once I upgrade my computer, our Skyrim series will continue from The Legend of Skyrim, which is a Zelda-themed Skyrim Let's Play. But let's see. This is the Turtle Dome. Basically, this is my... I call it a turtle dome because it's kind of like round. It looks like a turtle shell from up top. But this is my storage, man. This is the updated storage area where I have all of my goodies from working on project and things that I collect. We keep them all in this little hut. And then, yeah, so that's the main storage room. Then up here, we have the pumpkin patch, which is where I grow all of my pumpkins for lighting and things like that. I'm collecting right now because we're going to be doing some upgraded lighting eventually. But yeah, so we got a little pumpkin patch here where everything grows, and then I just come through and harvest it every once in a while. Then come back in, throw the pumpkins in this chest, and we are good to go. I keep going into third person. Okay, so now what? We've got everything on that side. Let's wrap around to... Okay, so we just came down there from Moria's Magic, right? Alright, so this is the... what did I call this in the other episode? I forget what I called it. It was something clever. But this is my egg farm. I used to have chickens in here, but they've laid enough eggs that it filled up a double chest, a single chest, and all the hoppers that are connected into this. So there's a bunch of hoppers underneath this yellow carpet, and they're all full of eggs. So we've got plenty of eggs. I don't think we'll ever need any more eggs, ever. But yeah, so we've got a little wheat farm here. This is where I grow most of my wheat. I just come in here and harvest it every now and then. It looks like it's all ready to go. This is the bakery, which was a user request from not too long ago. But yeah, so basically it's just a little bakery shop. I need to come in and add some furnaces because that'll make a little bit more sense for a bakery to be able to cook things. And something other than just those two furnaces. So future smaller things I guess we could adjust. And this is where we've been spending most of our time here recently, or at least this is where I've been. But this is kind of like the under the bridge village. And this place came out awesome, man. I really, really enjoy this spot. I had a lot of fun building this. It's not all finished. Some of these buildings are still pretty empty. But this should be pretty familiar to anybody that's watched in the last month or so. You should recognize some of this stuff that we've been doing. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool. But it came out really awesome, and I really like it. So this is like the baker's house underneath the bakery. And then we just got some random spots, random houses, and stuff like that. So... pretty neat stuff. Let's head over here first. We're gonna save kind of the bigger stuff for the last, and I think this is like second to last right now. But we're gonna go check out the Guardian. Now the Guardian is our ship, man. We built a medieval style sailboat, and this came out awesome. I think this is probably one of the builds that I'm most proud of, and it looks amazing. So we got the big sails here, and over here we got kind of like the docks and bridges and stuff, which eventually is going to all connect over into the kingdom itself. But we just have to get around to doing it. So we have kind of like our little loading station here. We've got the captain's quarters back here. Still, most of it is pretty empty. There's not a whole lot of stuff, but we'll see if we ever get around to it. You come up here, you got the helm of the ship, which is right here, which you can't see anything, but that's okay. But yeah, I think so much time went into building this thing, man. This was a huge project, but I think the end result came out really, really nice. So we got like our different sails and things like that, different size sails. But it's the very first ship I've ever built in this game, and I think it came out pretty good so far. We'll see if it gets any better. And then back under here, we've got some mass storage in the what they call it, the hull. the hull of the ship. So this is where kind of like I do all my mass storage and stuff like that. Somebody suggested that we put all our mass storage products in here. So I got like all my cobble and smooth stone and different things in here, and sand and guardian blocks and different things like that. So pretty handy as well. Looks awesome, and it's very, very handy to hold all my good stuff. We got some stuff down there, not a whole lot. We're eventually going to start working down there. I want to add in like a dungeon, and that's going to be like our mine. We're going to have some sort of mine because they got to collect their materials from somewhere, right? And then this is probably one of my favorite things over here too. We got a bunch of custom trees. So I spent a lot of time making custom trees. That's one. There's one here, which is kind of in the stairway going back over up here into the main area of the village. We have a bunch of dead trees using the acacia wood and soul sand, which just kind of look like, you know, a dead tree in the middle of the forest. If you're in a forest, there's always like dead trees, you know. You see them all the time. But we've got a few of those kind of scattered around the area. Another custom tree right here. And then we've got another custom tree on the back side over there. And I think as far as the custom trees goes, that's pretty much everything. Let's take this at the speed potion real quick. Trying to think of what else. I'm probably missing some stuff, and you guys are just going to have to kind of let me know, like I said, in the comments, and leave it down below for anybody that's exploring the world. That way they can go have a look and kind of check it out for themselves. But I think we're actually getting pretty close to finish. We got this and then this, and I think that's about it, to be honest. Maybe a few things here and there, but yeah. So this is the Guardian Angel, man. So this is going into the kingdom, and as you can see, we got the castle right here, and or at least the start of the castle. It kind of goes in. We got some major work to do on the inside of this thing and on the back side as well. But I thought for the entrance, kind of looking over the village, we have the Guardian Angel, which is a tutorial that I followed on YouTube from Jaracraft. If you want to go check him out on YouTube, just type in Jaracraft Minecraft, and he has a lot of really interesting tutorials and different builds and stuff like that. The guy is amazing at doing medieval stuff, and I definitely draw a lot of inspiration from him as far as what goes into this world. But this is one of the tutorials that I thought would be kind of cool to add into this place, and I think it came out really nice. So it's just like an angel with a torch and a shield and her big angel wings and stuff like that. It looks really cool. So we got the bridge. Eventually this is going to all connect here kind of into the underground city. We've got the mines, which was really not that interesting to go look at, but on the other side of this ravine here, we've got kind of like a branch mine set up over there. Used to be the old donators hall, but since then I've moved it over here, and this pathway kind of connects down over there to the under the bridge village. So but this is our final stop on this crazy journey so far. And this is the castle, man. This is a huge project. Very handy now that we have beacons. This didn't take very long, but I mean, it took a long time, but not as long as I guess it could have. But I dug all this out, added in all the stone bricks and things like that. There's a lot of smaller detail work that we had to come back in and adjust. I'd really like to add in mossy and cracked stone bricks to all of this, and maybe change up the pattern in the floor a little bit, and add a few more pillars and stuff here and there. But yeah, so this is the hallway. This is going to kind of cut back through into the back of the kingdom. So if we come over here, there's nothing over here yet, but eventually this is all going to be kingdom. So it's, if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings and Minas Tirith, or Minas Tirith, I guess, this is what it's going to look like back here eventually. A lot of like white, gray, stone, like masonry work, I guess you could say. It's going to be much different. Like on this side, it's very woody, very organic, and on this side, it's going to be very man-made and very like stone and strong and powerful, that type of thing. So just kind of giving an idea to what the kingdom is going to look like. But as of right now, my favorite thing in this world, no matter what, is the Donators Hall. So this area here, if you contribute in any way to my channel, if you become a patron, you get some diamond glowy armor. If you donate to the channel, you get some iron armor and your sign, and everybody gets their name and a sign set up, right? This one's glowy because that's my brother. He donated a while back. And this one's special because this is a buddy of mine, Zuby, and he donated. He's a Halo player, a fellow Halo friend of mine, so he got the Master Chief armor. And then we have Ruby Maze, which is another patron, and Young Skittles here, which are both patrons. So if you donate to the channel, you get a statue, get some armor and your sign and everything like that. If you become a patron, you get some glowy armor. And then if you just leave a user suggestion, something that I pick for an idea or a build in this world, you get your name in here too. You also get a book, a glowy book, which we hang up on the wall here. So you can see all of these glowy books here are user requests left by viewers. And eventually it would be kind of cool to have a whole library full of this stuff. So it's not a whole lot. I think I have some of these books laying around not put up in here right now. But eventually it's all going to be filled up, which I think is going to be really cool. So if you've got an idea for a user request, leave it in a comment down below. And we'll pick it for one of the upcoming future episodes. And I like to keep kind of a bulk storage of ideas so I don't get too burnt out on one idea. We can kind of just pick one and go. But yeah, so if you're interested in doing any of this kind of stuff, donating, becoming a patron, there are links down below in the description that you can check out. Also follow me on Twitter. And just do everything it says down below. But I think, guys, that's about it. It has been a very, very long video. Long day, man. Lots of stalking, lots of stops, and all kinds of other stuff. Like I said, if I forgot anything, leave it down below in a comment for somebody who might be a little bit lost and needs some help checking out something cool. And I don't know, leave your ideas for builds for future episodes, man. You can get your name up on the wall. I think it'd be cool. So, but that's going to do it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let's get out of that. But I'm going to go rest my voice. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I think this is going to be coming out on Monday. So enjoy the rest of your Monday. I don't know, if you guys are out for summer, leave it in a comment down below. Let me know that you're out for summer. What your summer plans are. Y'all going on vacation? You doing something fun? I wish I could go on vacation, man. That'd be nice. But anyways, that's going to do it for me today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button for me down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, man. We are like at 7,200 subscribers now, which is crazy because we just hit 7,000, I think, about like a week and a half ago. So you guys' support is unreal, man. It just constantly surprises me, and you guys are awesome. But yeah, so leave all your ideas down below in a comment, and I will see you guys next time for some building goodness. All right, guys, peace. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye.